All right, so today we're diving into this motivational podcast episode. And I got to say, the energy is really something else.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's like the speaker downed an entire pot of coffee before hitting record. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh. Yeah, but you know what's interesting, though? Underneath that super enthusiastic delivery style,
Yeah,
Colton Elliott actually brings up some pretty universal themes, I think.
you're absolutely right.
You know, like fear of failure and taking risks, the importance of action, stuff that really resonates with a lot of success stories.
Yeah, totally. And he doesn't try to sugarcoat anything either. He's got this catchphrase, you never know until you try, and he keeps coming back to it over and over again.
Oh, yeah.
It's like throughout the whole episode. Like he literally says at one point, if you're sitting on an idea and waiting for the perfect time, there is no perfect time. You've already lost. I mean, come on. Talk about a serious wake-up call, right?
Yeah, no kidding. He definitely has a way of cutting through all the noise.
Yeah.
And what I find really interesting is how he ties this idea of taking action to the whole risk-reward mindset. He uses examples like Donald Trump and Elon Musk.
Yeah.
You know, people who, regardless of what you think about them personally, they took huge risks.
Huge.
And ended up with massive rewards.
Absolutely. Yeah. You can't argue with their level of success at all. It's almost like Elliott's saying, look, these guys weren't afraid to just go for it.
Right.
Even if it meant they might totally fail.
Exactly.
Do you think that's like a mindset that really speaks to people?
I think so, for sure. I think a lot of people struggle with that, you know, that fear of taking a leap and not knowing what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. What's so fascinating to me is how Elliott connects this back to his own personal journey.
Right.
You know, he built his whole real estate empire, the Colton Elliott Realtor Group, and all these other ventures too, like TNT Real Estate Media and the Easy Lead. And he built it all completely from nothing.
This is pretty amazing.
He didn't have special connections or a trust fund to rely on. He just went for it.
Yeah, he's really walking the walk, isn't he?
Totally.
He's not just talking about taking risks, he's living it.
Exactly.
And he's totally open about the fact that there were failures
Oh, yeah.
and setbacks along the way.
Yeah.
He actually talks about how each of those experiences was a chance to learn and refine his strategy.
Yeah, that's such a crucial point. He even says every loss was a lesson that made me smarter, sharper, and more strategic.
Wow.
It's not about trying to avoid failure completely, because that's impossible.
Right.
It's about accepting those stumbles as part of the process and using them to actually help you grow.
So it's like he's saying you have to be willing to get knocked down a few times.
Yeah.
To learn how to really fight, right?
Exactly. And to build on that, I think what Elliott's really pushing for is resilience.
Oh, okay.
You know, he's saying, look, you're going to face challenges, you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But it's how you respond to those setbacks that really determines your success.
So it's not about giving up at the first sign of trouble.
Yeah.
It's about getting back up and figuring out how to do better next time.
Precisely. It's about being adaptable, too.
Yeah.
You know, the world is constantly changing, so you have to be able to adjust your approach as you go.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So he's really emphasizing action, risk-taking, resilience, and adaptability. But does he actually give any, like, concrete advice on how to develop those qualities?
He does. He actually lays out his philosophy in 3 key steps for success.
Oh, wow.
And they're surprisingly simple, but when you really think about them, they're super powerful.
Okay.
First, he says, make a move today. He's all about taking action instead of endless planning and overthinking. Just start doing something, even if it's small.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
I know I'm definitely guilty of overthinking things sometimes, and it just leads to me getting stuck.
We've all been there. But Elliott's challenging us to break out of that cycle of just not doing anything and just get started. Then his second step is cut out the excuses. No blaming the government, your boss, or anyone else. You're responsible for your own success.
Well, that's a tough one for some people to accept, but it's true.
It is. You have to own your choices and your actions.
It's about taking responsibility and realizing that you have the power to change your situation.
Exactly.
It's empowering, but also kind of scary, right?
Definitely. But that brings us to his third and final step, which is surround yourself with winners.
Okay.
He really believes in the idea that you become like the people you spend the most time with.
Oh, yeah.
So choose wisely.
That's so important. Your social circle can really lift you up or drag you down.
Right.
So it's crucial to be around people who inspire you and support you.
It's all about creating an environment that helps you grow and pushes you to be your best. Mm-hmm. You need people who are going to celebrate your wins with you, but also challenge you to keep going when things get tough.
So it's not just about working hard. It's about working smart, being resilient, learning from your mistakes, and having a supportive community around you.
Yeah, those are the key ingredients for lasting success, according to Elliott. And you know what? I think you might be onto something.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how he talks about success,
Yeah.
Not just reaching specific goals, but as this ongoing journey of growth and learning.
Right. It's not like you get to the finish line and that's it.
Yeah.
It's about constantly pushing yourself and getting better.
Yeah, and he also directly addresses those what-if fears that hold a lot of people back,
Right.
Like, what if it doesn't work out? Or what if I fail? What if I lose money?
Yeah, all those doubts that we kind of wrestle with sometimes.
Exactly. He doesn't avoid those fears at all. He tackles them head on.
Yeah, and he does it in such a clever way, I think. Instead of just saying, don't be afraid,
Right.
he kind of flips it around and asks, what if you succeed?
Yeah.
What if this changes everything for you? It's a really powerful shift in perspective.
It is. He's encouraging you to focus on the good things that could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The possibility of achieving something truly amazing, instead of getting bogged down by the fear of what might go wrong.
It's like he's saying, hey, you're already risking failure by not doing anything, so why not at least give it a shot and see what happens?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's realizing that not taking action is its own kind of failure.
Yeah, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
Totally. And that takes us back to his main message. You never know until you try.
Uh-huh.
It's not just a motivational saying. It's a fundamental truth, I think.
It is.
You can plan and strategize and analyze all you want. But in the end, the only way to know for sure is to take action and see what happens.
I love how he uses his own story as an example of that. He didn't just become a real estate mogul overnight.
Right.
He started small, hustled, learned from his mistakes, and kept pushing forward even when things got tough. It really shows the power of not giving up and the importance of embracing the journey.
Right. With all its ups and downs.
Exactly. So if we had to boil down Colton Elliott's message into a few key takeaways for our listeners, what do you think those would be?
Right.
What are the real nuggets of wisdom we can get from his, let's be honest, kind of over-the-top motivational style?
Yeah. I think the most important one is the power of action.
Okay.
Stop overthinking, stop planning, and just start doing what's one small thing, even a tiny thing that you can do right now towards a goal you've been putting off.
That's a really good question for our listeners to think about.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be some big life-changing step.
Right.
It could be something as simple as making a phone call, sending an email, or even just writing down your goals. The point is to just get started and build some momentum.
And remember, failure is just a chance to learn something new.
Exactly. So don't be afraid to mess up along the way. Embrace those setbacks, learn from them, and keep going.
What about Elliott's idea of surrounding yourself with winners? How can our listeners actually apply that to their own lives?
I think it's about paying attention to who you're spending time with. Who are the people in your life that inspire you, that challenge you to be your best, that support your dreams and celebrate your successes?
Yeah.
Those are the people you want to be around. And just as important, who are the people that drain your energy, that are always negative or just don't care, that hold you back from going after what you want? It might be time to rethink those relationships and maybe create some distance.
It's not about cutting people out of your life completely, but realizing that the people you hang out with have a huge impact on your mindset and your ability to reach your goals.
It's not always easy to make those tough choices, but it's important for your own well-being and your ability to truly succeed. It's about making a positive and supportive environment for yourself that encourages growth and pushes you to be your best.
So it's not just about hard work. It's about working smart, being able to bounce back, learning from your mistakes, and having people around you who support you. Elliott might have a unique, maybe even a little bit harsh style, but his message is really about empowering yourself. It's about realizing you have the power to create the life you want.
Yeah.
Even if that means taking some risks and getting out of your comfort zone.
And sometimes that's exactly what you need to do to achieve amazing things.
Yeah.
He talks about Trump and Musk, to show what can happen when you take bold action. And whether you like them or not, their success really shows that sometimes you just have to go for it.
Elliott says, you have to play to win. What do you think that means for our listeners? How can they apply that to their lives without necessarily becoming like super competitive business people?
I think it's about having a clear picture of what you want to achieve and then consistently taking action to make it happen. It's about being proactive, not reactive.
Right.
It's about setting ambitious goals and then going after them no matter what, even when things get tough.
And that's where the resilience and adaptability come in. right? Being able to change your approach when you need to learn from your mistakes and keep moving forward, even when you face setbacks.
Exactly. Elliott himself has said that every time he's failed in business, it actually made him stronger and smarter. So it's not about avoiding failure completely.
Right.
It's about seeing it as a necessary part of the process.
So what does all this mean for you, our listener?
Mm-hmm.
How can you take these ideas and use them in your own life, your own goals, your own dreams?
I think a good place to start is to think about what you've always wanted to do but have been afraid to try. What are those dreams that you've been putting off? What's stopping you from taking that first step?
Is it fear of failing? Not feeling confident enough? Feeling like you don't have enough time or resources?
Whatever it is, Elliott's message is a call to action. He's saying stop making excuses and start making things happen.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be something huge. Just take one little step today and see where it takes you.
Remember, you never know until you try. And who knows that one small step could lead to something incredible. And even if it doesn't turn out exactly how you planned, at least you won't be wondering, what if?
Yeah, it's like he's giving us permission to really dream big and then go after those dreams with everything, you know?
Yeah.
He even has this quote that really stuck with me. He says, "I'd rather try and fail than sit on the sidelines and wonder what if."
That's such a powerful statement. You know, it really gets to the core of what it means to live a life that feels good. It's about being okay with not knowing what's going to happen, taking chances and being willing to put yourself out there, even if it means you might fail.
Right. Because at the end of the day, isn't that regret of what if way worse than just messing up?
Oh, for sure.
At least if you try, you'll know for sure. You'll learn something from it, even if it doesn't turn out the way you wanted.
And who knows? You might surprise yourself. You might find out you have talents you didn't know about, find new opportunities, and achieve things you never thought were possible. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Colton Elliott's world, all about taking action and going after success, what's one final thought we can leave our listeners with? What's that one thing they've been putting off, that dream they've been too afraid to chase?
What's one small step they can take today to start moving towards that goal? It doesn't have to be anything big, just a little something to get started.
Because remember, you never know until you try, and that one small step could be the beginning of something really amazing. And even if it doesn't lead to exactly what you were hoping for, at least you won't be left wondering, what if?
And that's it for today. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive. We'll see you next time.